In order to write an equation in point-slope form, we need to have the slope and one point on the line. So we need x1 and y1. In this problem, we're given the point, so we can just fill in our values for x and y as -4 and 2. And we're not quite given slope, but we can find slope from this equation, which is written in standard form, by changing this from standard form to slope intercept form. So to rewrite 4x minus y equals 5, we're trying to get y alone, so we're going to subtract the 4x from both sides. And then we need to get rid of this negative sign as well. So we need to divide all terms, not just both sides, but all terms, by -1. When we do this, we get y equals -5 plus 4x. Now that this equation is in y-intercept form, we know that the slope must be 4. With these three values, we can now write our equation in point-slope form using the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is the general form of the equation for point-slope form. So, I'm going to leave the y in my equation. I'm going to change the y1 to 2. I'm going to change the m value to 4. We're going to leave the x value. And then we're going to change this x1 to -4. So we end up with -4. Whenever we see two negatives together, we change the sign to a positive. So we're going to rewrite this equation as y minus 2 equals 4 times the quantity x plus 4. So now we have successfully written this equation in point-slope form. Point-slope form is really cool because now, as long as we can find or know the slope, so not just know it, but maybe even find it, and one other point on the line. So here we've got m, and here you've got x1, y1. Whenever we have or can find slope and one other point, we can always write a linear equation. So here's another example. We're given 2 points, so that means that we can automatically write x1 and y1. It doesn't matter which point you choose. We're going to choose this one just because. So again, x and y. So my x1 is -1 and my y is 3. Alright, we don't have slope here. However, because we have 2 points, we can find slope. Because we know that slope equals y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. So using this equation, we're going to write 3 minus -2, which can be changed to a positive. And then we've got -1 minus 4. So when we solve this, we have 3 plus 2 equals 5, and -1 plus -4, which equals -5. This can simplify to -1. So now we have our m value, and we can write an equation. So remember, the equation is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So I'm just going to plug these values in, and we're going to get y minus 3 equals negative 1 times x, and again we're going to have minus a negative 1, so we're going to change that to a plus. Okay, so in this problem though, it says that they want our equation in slope-intercept form. So now that we've used these three items to write our equation in point-slope form, we can change this equation right here into slope-intercept form. Remembering slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, so we're just trying to get y by itself on one side. To do that, our first step is going to be to distribute. So I'm going to rewrite this equation as y minus 3 equals, and then we've got negative 1 times x, so it's negative x, and negative 1 times positive 1, which is a negative 1. Now we just need to get y by itself, so we're going to add 3 to both sides, and you get y equals negative x, and then we've got negative 1 plus 3 equals positive 2. So now we've successfully answered this question. We're able to write an equation in slope-intercept form because we had one point and the slope. Alright, let's try one more. In this question it says to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form, so again we're going to have to change our point slope at the end to slope-intercept. And we know that it is perpendicular to this equation and goes through our 1 point. So again, we've got our 1 point, x1 equals negative 6, y1 equals 4. But we don't know our slope again. Alright, we have two things that we can do here and that we need to do here. First, we need to change this equation from standard form into slope-intercept form. So to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and subtract 3x from both sides. And again, divide everything by negative 1. When we do that, we end up with y equals negative 5 plus 3x. So we have the slope of the given line. Here m equals 3. But we're told that we want a line that's perpendicular to this line. A slope that is perpendicular to 3 will be the negative reciprocal. So the negative reciprocal of 3 is negative 1/3. So you can see I changed the sign. I went from positive to negative, and then we do the reciprocal. So this was 3 over 1. We flip it and we get 1 over 3. So we want to use this equation because we want the line that is perpendicular to the one given. So we're going to go ahead and write negative 1/3 over here as our value for m, and we're going to go ahead and plug them into our equation for point slope form. So again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That means y minus 4 equals negative 1/3 x. And then we've got minus minus 6. So again, I'm going to change those to a positive. Okay, to get to slope-intercept form, once again, we're going to distribute. So we end up with y minus 4 equals negative 1/3 x. And then we've got negative 1/3 times 6, which is negative. Remember, we can make that into a fraction and multiply by 1/3. We get 6 over 3, which simplifies to 2. So we're almost done. our final step, remember, is to get y by itself, so that means we're going to add 4 to both sides. You end up with y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. And that is our final answer in slope-intercept form.